I know that there was a big media explosion last night after it was announced that Jimmy Kimmel was essentially canceled from ABC. I don't know about you, but I care more about Charlie Kirk being killed than I do a multimillionaire comic losing his show on a television network, knowing that the multimillionaire comic is going to wind up with another gig somewhere. But Charlie Kirk was taken from us. I care more about the 3 police officers in Pennsylvania who were murdered yesterday. Forgive me if I'm not particularly distraught about Jimmy Kimmel. Will Cain over at Fox News posted something on his X account that sums up pretty perfectly how normal people are reacting. Now, there's not a normal reaction on the left. People from Chuck Schumer to pundits, social media folks. I mean, there was a big eruption of rage and frustration and anger. And I mean, here's a little montage from TikTok.
News that Disney is pulling Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely off the air.
Donald Trump is now publicly celebrating ABC taking Jimmy Kimmel's show off the air indefinitely at his request. Trump is attacking freedom of speech, and he's not even trying to hide it.
This is the same party, the same group of people who complained about everything is too woke. Comedians can't say anything anymore. They're killing comedy.
If you think that freedom of speech is protected in America right now, you are not paying attention.
What just happened to Jimmy Kimmel is a part of a much larger assault on our civil liberties in this country, including our free press.
Jimmy Kimmel does not deserve to be fired.
This is a dystopian hell.
Oh, we are in the bad place.
This is ridiculous. They want fascism to rule. What's next? South Park? SNL?
But until we are willing to put our action where our mouths are and do something, the snowball of momentum will continue to roll right over us.
They're big mad. Big mad. They're not handling it well. Chuck Schumer was raging on CNN last night. And it's hard not to observe that Senator Schumer seemed way more upset about an ABC TV comedian losing his TV show than a 31-year-old husband and father being assassinated in broad daylight on a college campus in Utah. It's pretty astounding. So Will Cain wrote a pretty good analysis on his X account. I want to share it with you. He said, such ignorant hyperventilating about Jimmy Kimmel. This has nothing to do with the free press or free speech or First Amendment. Kimmel didn't joke about Charlie Kirk. He spread a verifiable lie about half of America. And in response to that lie, that he refused to retract, incidentally, never apologized for it. According to media insiders, he's not going to apologize ever for lying and claiming that the killer was MAGA. That was the lie that he could have easily retracted, or he could have corrected or apologized for. He wouldn't do it. And as a result, huge numbers of consumers were appalled, Will writes. 2 large station owners, Nexstar and Sinclair, said no more. Not in our markets. His ratings already were in the toilet. I'm sure, like Stephen Colbert, he loses a lot of money for ABC. The FCC, which licenses and regulates the public airwaves, rightly looks into whether this serves the public interest. ABC, along with The View, a supposedly comedy program in which Kimmel, that not only ignores but denigrates half of America, platforms only the left, and the disgrace of its news division fails the public interest. I don't know, says Will Cain, but I wouldn't be surprised if some semi-sane executive at Disney said enough of this bull crap. Enough. Will concludes by saying Jimmy Kimmel is free to speak his mind. We all know that. However, he has no right or guarantee to do so on ABC TV. This isn't about comedy or free speech. It's about consequences. Speech is free. Speech is not without consequences. Right now, how would you like to be the left, looking around the Trump haters who watched the King of England wine and dine President Trump yesterday, who see comics like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel canceled after they're denigrating half of America night after night, hour after hour? Thousands and thousands of people will be flocking to State Farm Stadium this weekend to pay respects to Charlie and his family. We'll be there as well. We'll bring the Mike Gallagher Show to Phoenix for you. We'll be doing the show from there tomorrow. We're going to the memorial service on Sunday. President Trump is speaking, Vice President Vance, many, many dignitaries. It's going to be a real epic send-off to this 31-year-old who was shot dead on a college campus in Utah. Over at Axios, Jim Vandehei has some advice for liberals. And I want to read some of this to you because it is true. This is where the left must be right now. They must feel completely lost at sea. They don't know what happened. Many Democrats in America, he writes, for the first time feel not merely powerless, but like targeted strangers in an occupied land. Axios says many write to us wondering, what can we do beyond protesting government? If there were simple answers, Jim Vandehei writes, they wouldn't keep asking the same question. A year ago, millions of MAGA voters would have voiced many of the same concerns the Democrats have today. So this feeling is only spreading. And then it goes on to this whole question and answer that apparently Ross Douthat at the New York Times wrote. One of the things that Axios advises people to do is to take 15 minutes to listen to the New York Times columnist Ezra Klein, because he has been a rare voice of sanity on the loony left. Ezra Klein maintained that Charlie Kirk knew how to do politics and do it well. He wanted debate. He brought his message to college kids and high school kids. And there is nothing that can bring him back. But what can sustain him is for an energy that has been unleashed. And you know it, and I know it. We all feel it. There is an energy. There is something happening that we've never really experienced before. A reaction that says, look, we don't care anymore. You can try to cancel. Cancel, it means nothing when you're killing us, when you're shooting dead people that you don't agree with. Canceling somebody from their job at ABC, again, a wealthy guy who's going to land on his feet somewhere else. Charlie Kirk was killed for his beliefs. And it's pretty shocking to see Democrats express more concern about an ABC comic being canceled than Charlie Kirk being assassinated. Tell me where I'm wrong. 800-655-MIKE. 16 past the hour, we're in the Relief Factor studios. 800-655-6453. Love to put your voice front and center here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Peter's in Binghamton, New York. Peter, let's get your reaction to the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel's show on ABC. How you doing, Peter?
Real well, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I appreciate your call.
I was just sitting here thinking that the way they deal with failure on their side, I'm going to bet Jimmy Kimmel is probably in line for a Kennedy Center honor.
Well, look at Colbert. He gets canceled in disgrace, and they gave him his first Emmy Award. I mean, that's what they do. You're right. That's what they do. That's how they roll. You got to give them credit for persistence. Thank you, Peter.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.